Alright, this lesson was not very long. We basically had two different types of problem. The first one was how long does it take to double? And so if we have this, we start out with y equals PE to the RT. And so you can pick any two numbers. And normally I like to pick 3 and 1 because we're trying to figure out how long it takes to triple. And so when we do this, we would normally divide by 1, but there's no point in dividing by 1. And then I would take the natural log of both sides. So when I take the natural log of 3 equals the natural log e to 0.052t, the natural log and the e cancels out, so on this side I have 0.052t equals the natural log of 3, which rounds to be 1.09, actually 1.10 if I'm doing this to the nearest hundredth. Divide by 0.052, and 1.10 divided by 0.052 is 21.15 years is the time it takes for us to triple. Now, if we wanted to do double, that number up there would have been a 2. If we wanted to know how long it took to get 4 times as much, we would use the number 4 instead of 2 or 3. And so we always wind up with the ln of whatever number we wanted to do. So if we wanted to do the 4th, I would have just had the ln of 4 divided by the rate, which was 0.052. Alright, the last thing we did was we made a scatter plot and we plotted these out. So what I want you to first do is I first want you to hit stat, and then after you hit stat you should just hit the enter button, and then when you get there you should basically highlight L1, and when I say highlight you want to go up to the L1 so that it's highlighted and hit clear, and then the same thing with L2 where you want to clear it, and then you want to put all of your X values into L1 and all of your Y values into L2. Alright, once you have all of that in there, if you hit the second button and then Y equals, you hit enter, and that should be at your first scatter plot. Now you want it to be on. You want the first one to be the one with all the dots, and then you want your X list to be L1 and you want your Y list to be L2, and it doesn't matter what your marks are, so that when you hit zoom 9 you will see a curve like that. Now in order to get the equation of this curve, you are going to hit stat. Sorry, that S is not. Now that looks better. Stat, calculate, and then you go to 0. So stat, move to the calculate menu, pick 0, and you only really worry about A and B. So Y equals 1.77 times, I'll just put in parentheses, 1.72 to the X. And so if I wanted to know what the equation would, what the value for X equals 10 would be, I would just plug that in, 1.77, 1.72 to the 10th power, and we would get 401. So those were the two things in 11.7. Once again, if you have any questions, please email me.